Just leave the door open.
Yeah.
Fucking apparently someone's moving in today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Club you do?
I think so, bro. From the cartel.
At least you got the right hookups then.
Alright, bro.
Riders ready! 5-second warning!
We came to get wild and give up. Came to rock the house and get drunk. From the floor to the ceiling, go nuts. Any sign of destruction's on us.
Oh boy. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 4. Hashtag travel life. Welcome to AubyNAussie Talk Cross. We're two goofballs in love with extreme sports who happen to participate in ice cross downhill. My name is TJ Albrecht, broadcasting from lovely Minnesota.
Hey guys, Aussie Crasher from Brisbane and broadcasting from Brisbane. And today we actually have, I'll fight you for it again. Today we actually have a special guest in, Mr. Matt Halfspeed Johnson.
Woo! Welcome aboard.
Fired up.
Okay. The first question on the board, will they do a shoey?
To answer your question with the sincerest of statements, I am dreading this so much.
You should be.
I have semi-clean shoe because I don't see that this is not sanitary.
But the alcohol kills all the bacteria, so you're fine.
I'm looking at the shoe going, yeah, this isn't the greatest idea, but banzai.
And for everyone, this is Maddie's first shoey as well, so we've got 2 on 2.
That face.
There's no way this works. All right, empty.
Drink up, bud.
Beer in the shoe. I don't know if you can see it, but
Oh, she's frothing.
Let's go. Let's go. Chug. Yes.
Oh, smashed it like
what a
proper gentleman.
beauty.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Okay.
During this ad break, we'll send you to our sponsors. So after your first shoey, nice to loosened up a bit, why don't you just tell a bit about yourself? So how'd you get into the sport? What is your background? And what are you doing now?
Whoa, how much time you guys got?
For you, I think we could run a couple minutes longer, like 2 or 3. So,
All right, I'll try to get a condensed version. My name's Matt Johnson. I race on behalf of Team USA. I've been racing now for 7-ish years.
Yep, 7 years.
You might have to look at my profile to get the exact number. I don't freaking know. Been doing it for a while. Could probably say I'm one of the more experienced guys on tour now. Do have a win under my belt. Thankfully, it was kind of a smaller race, but a lot of the top guys were still there, so I think it counts.
That was my first race ever.
Oh, look at you.
I watched your podium, yeah. I thought, wow, this guy can actually skate. Boy, was I wrong.
I want to say there might have been some extracurricular activities which led to you winning that race, though, Johnson. Wouldn't you say?
Talked about this a couple times on tour, too. I want to agree with you. I have a buddy back home that tells me he does everything better if he's a little tipsy or a little drunk, and I'm like, that at that race, you probably could say that. The night prior, we did have a few alcoholic beverages before going to sleep. I woke up not feeling great. Ended up on that night, you had a whole day to recover, and then we brought home a title in the middle of Canada. It was fun.
You ripped that track up, man. That was fun to watch.
It was one of those ones that actually played to my favor. Like, a lot of these tracks are a little aggressive on the X Games, big ramps. You got to be good at transitions, and that one was just like pedal to the metal the whole way with a few turns and a big bump, and that was
hop over something.
Yeah, couple. And all right,
See,
sweet.
You guys make that sound real easy. That was real hard.
Yeah, it was the thing that was killing everybody. It was like no one knew how to skate uphill. That was like the first time we ever had that at a race.
Oh, the uphill finish.
Pick up my feet like this is bush.
And it was like minus 30, so it was a chilling night.
Yeah, that's the wild card about our sport too. Like you can have races that are like I can't feel my fingers or toes, and then you can have the Tokyos where it's like I'm sweating profusely and I'm just standing here.
Why am I already out of breath? I'm just tying up my skates.
So with you winning that race, would you say that it was harder to go full speed or half speed?
And how did that come around as well?
It was my first year on tour, I believe. I had a goal to break into the tour because, like, you have to break into Team USA to get invited to races, and like that's a really steep hill to climb. There's a lot of really talented guys that are racing right now, and so it's hard to break into that mold and get invited to the big races. The year I just had accomplished that, I was now on tour, starting to be like known amongst the top guys, and they kind of called me rookie for like a whole year, and then when I was at the top of one of the practice rounds with the boys, I was like, I think I'm just going to take the first one half speed, being like, I'm not going to go full send the first time and kill myself. So the boys started calling me half speed after that. And then there was other adaptations where it was like, oh, you make everyone look like they're going half speed and stuff like that. So kind of grown from there and been a fun thing for all the boys on tour.
I love it. I think it sticks. I think you're the perfect person for that nickname, actually.
I've never actually seen you go half speed though, so I'll be fascinated one day to watch it happen.
In our sport, on the big races, like if you go half speed, it usually hurts you more than it helps you.
Good point. Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of times that I was just like, oh, I want to like be lackadaisical and like just chill and kind of get a feel for the elements, and I just sewer myself speed, and then I don't know what the heck is happening or when is it coming. And definitely don't go half speed, full send all day. Let's go.
Skate fast, don't fall. I have been stealing that from you though.
I'll cheers to that one, boys. Well, again, thank you, Johnson, for joining us. You guys, the viewers, if you're just checking in, again, we are AubyNAussie. This is episode 4, #Travel Life. Thank goodness for Half Speed, Matt Johnson, joining us. I know he definitely, well, with myself, we've traveled together. We've had some stories. We have some experiences is what you would call it. I think you have one to tell us.
Oh, yeah. I got a multitude. I got a bag full here. We've been doing this for too dang long. Like, which year do you want to go with? One that pops into my head right away is, again, back towards like the beginning of my career. I had not traveled around the world at all. I didn't leave the country. I was a homebody, and this was my first time flying somewhere. It was a race in Finland. So I had to fly out there solo. There was no one on the plane with me. Like, like now we're a little bit more intelligent. We try to actually plan flights together like intelligent human beings. Oh, yeah, good idea. So I didn't know. I was like, I don't know when to go out there. And like, so I just send it, right? Thankfully, I talked to Cam and was like, hey, I'm landing in Finland. Where do I go after that? Like, I don't even know where the race is at this point. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I'm literally going to be like at the airport, hop off the plane and just go like this. Help.
In a country that doesn't speak a lick of English.
And it's not even like their written language is, you can kind of decipher it. It's like someone smacks their head on a keyboard and that is a word.
And they have peanut butter on the roof of their mouth. To me, I get off the plane or whatever, and I'm like, first step, take out your phone. Try to contact Cam. Maybe he's close by. My dumb ass doesn't know that your phone doesn't work. Leaving. So I whip out my phone. It's like no service. I'm like, oh my God. What do I do? Oh, well, hop on the Wi-Fi, right? So I get on the Wi-Fi. I'm like, all right, sweet. Got Messenger going. I'm finally starting to get a hum. I get my bags. I figured out after like a half hour of wandering around where bag claim was. So finally, Cam and I meet up. And he's like, dude, don't worry. I did this trip last year, so I know where to go. And we had got a hotel that was in the center of Helsinki just for the night because we couldn't check into the athlete hotel until the next day or something. Problem with travel in this sport. You don't know which day to get there because you can't check in this day, but you can check in that day, but we're going to have practice, but we're not going to have practice. It's just get there early, make sure you're there before anything happen, and then that way you're never missing anything.
Hurry up and wait. It's what happens. It's the exact motto of the sport.
That is our tagline: is hurry up and wait. Good. You need somebody to wait for something? We got it.
Stand in line for hours in the freezing cold just because.
Professional waiter right here. Not in the traditional sense.
So then I'm like, all right, I got Cam. I'm good. He's, he knows what he's doing. He's been here before. We're going into Helsinki. Mind you, it's probably about 4 to 5 degrees out, sideways like sleet, snow going on. I'm a rookie, so I don't know any better, and I have a strap bag, like a normal hockey. You were a little girl, because I don't want to swear. I'm trying not to swear. But you're a little baby back if you had wheels on your bag playing hockey where I grew up. So I'm like, I got my shoulder strap.
Nope.
Meanwhile, like, we're putting miles on, man. Like, you don't – I didn't understand how much walking there was. I damn near lost my right arm from carrying this bag around and cutting off my circulation. This for like 3 days. So we get down there. Mind you, from the airport after baggage claim, it's like a train to a taxi to maybe your hotel. So we get there, like after all these trains and whatnot, and our hotel is like a mile away or something. He's like, all right, we got to just hoof it, right? Well, mind you, my phone still has no service. His only works a little bit or something. I can't remember exactly what was happening, or it was about to die or something like that. So we start trudging towards the hotel, just praying to God we find it before his phone goes out. Otherwise, we're in the middle of hell. It's night, sideways sleep. I got my stupid bag that's killing my arm. I don't know what I can't ask for help. Like, it's just a debacle at this point. And so sure as shit, his phone does die. Then we have to stop at like some random restaurant to charge his phone just for a little bit so we could find our, like, we wandered around for a good amount of time. It was comical. But we did make it finally, but I definitely will never go to another country that A, I don't have my phone at the ready, or B, know exactly how I'm getting to the hotel and always have wheels on my bag. Done. So that.
Oh my God.
That sounds like badness. But I do have to say, I think everyone, their first season learns not to take a strap bag. Because my first season, I had a strap bag.
Yeah.
And it was
I did as well.
Painful. And by the end of it, the bag's falling apart anyway. You're like, I wish I had wheels.
It was just, that was the easiest fix ever. It was just get wheels, man. Just get wheels.
My first time going to Finland, it was almost the same experience. And you say to grab wheels now, I will never, ever, ever travel without wheels in the sport ever again. You never know what you're going to come across in a foreign country. Most of the time in the U.S., there's transportation right from the airport, right where you need to go. They drop you off at the door.
Yeah.
However, Europe operates a little bit differently. They don't quite have bus stops that meet up right next to a train. So you may be walking to 4, 6, 8, 10 blocks with some bags. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that all with a carry bag, Johnson.
Oh, and mind you, this is like one of those times when I was leaving for a couple weeks in Europe. So it wasn't like I was
packed.
Oh,
the hockey bag was like 60 bills. I had my wheelie roller bag that was about to explode with clothes, and then I had my backpack on top of that. Like, we just looked like a couple of Michelin men walking down the street trying to find our hotel. We tried really hard, but it was wet, and it was just, it would have been funny to watch for sure.
To that story, I'll cheers you to that one because that is a hell of a travel day. Cheers, Johnson, for that story. That was incredible. We've all kind of had an odd experience our first year traveling, that's for sure. Again, I want to thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Why don't you tell everybody watching where they can catch you? I know you have some pretty good videos you like to post from time to time.
I definitely would be most active on Instagram, not too into the TikTok life or anything crazy like that. You can see me on Instagram. My handle is Johns. So that's JOHNZ2688. Follow me on there for all the golden content, my man.
And golden is what it is.
It is very golden. I can attest to that. It is fantastic. Plus, you're a beauty. You're a beauty, so it's easy to look at.
Right. You're gonna see the last one was a hole-in-one post.
Oh, I was gonna say I forgot to congratulate you for that one. That was fantastic. How's it feel peaking that early?
It's like, sweet. Now I don't have to play golf anymore. Saving a ton of.
I win. I'm done.
Mission accomplished. Thank you. See you guys later.
What's the next challenge?
Best part is like I got a shout out to my brother because he was there with me, and it was one of those ones where you crushed. It was a long par 3. It was like 190 something from wherever, because you never know where they put the dang tee box. But so we're hitting off. I'm hitting off with my 5-iron, and I'm like, get close. I mean, I'm not a golfer. If you also notice on the scorecard, there was 2 snowmen on the front 9 with my hole-in-one. Yes. So I crush it, right? And I'm like, oh, it's short. Oh, darn it. Not enough juice on that one. And we're like watching it bounce. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's going to make the green. Oh, wait, it's really close. And then we all do the thing where we like grab each other's arms as we're like, oh my God, it's going to go in. Oh my God. And then it disappears. And we all just freaking go nuts. We're playing like a scramble with a bunch of different groups. So there's a group behind us that's with us. That's like our buddies. So they hear us go nuts, come running over and go nuts with us. We're all jumping around like a bunch of 12-year-olds. It was the funnest day of my life.
I would have celebrated the same way, like a bunch of 12-year-olds. How often does that happen? Not very much.
Yeah. And then I decided to sprint the 200 yards down the thing to go. Looking like Forrest Gump, just like, oh my God, I got to pull one. Look at me go.
You were more than half speed on your way to check that one out.
Yes, flexing the whole way.
Just wait, you try to do an ice cross track now, you get tired halfway.
For real.
Run that hard again in your life, you'll be dead.
At about 100 yards down the way, I was like, ooh, this was a little further than I thought. This is getting to that distance where I don't work anymore. Ice cross, we blow out of the hole as fast as we can. And then it's like, but we're not distance runners. We do not have the longevity. You ask me to run a mile, I'll tell you to go frig yourself.
I'll second that one. Well, I mean, honestly, we're here. We're talking. We just listened to quite an incredible story of your travel to Finland. I don't think a lot of people really understand what goes into traveling to Europe, honestly. We can talk about cost. That's the first thing that comes across everyone's mind, right?
I have to stop you there for a second. It doesn't just have to be Europe. It could be any race.
Yeah.
Wow,
any race is a big travel if it's not for, mainland for you guys.
Oh, for you, man, I know what my bottom line looks like at the end, and it makes me want to have a heart attack, and I can only imagine what yours looks like because you're coming from that beautiful little island down there.
Yeah, she definitely gets multiplied quite a bit, but it's worth it. I can say getting to see you beauties every weekend though during the season, it's kind of worth it.
Why do you think it's so expensive though for us to travel like that?
It's a development of sport. Part one, we are to a point where our production teams and our track building teams and event teams are unreal, and it's just really hard to take care of all the athletes on top of that. There's a lot of us. I can definitely understand the difficulty because I know that side of ice cross works so hard to try to help us out and get us paid and stuff like that. But in the end, it comes down to like if we could charter flights or if we could, if there was enough people like doing things that other professional sports are doing to help cut costs, having frequency of races in closer areas. Like Australia should have its own circuit. We should have our own circuit. Like those are the things that would probably help a little bit in the piggy bank department. But other than that, unless somebody wants to go and own an airline or something, we're kind of SOL.
No, and I agree with you there. And at least on a personal level, I'm the same way. I know Luke has already mentioned a couple, but for yourself, do you have a sponsor or how do you essentially afford to travel and make this happen? Like you said, for the last 7 years, that can't be cheap for you.
It's definitely a process. Every year is different. You have to kind of take it like, it's kind of like, if you want to get a house or a car or all these nice things in life that actually are a solid sum of money, you need to prepare for it. So it goes, okay, if I'm working this job, I need X amount of dollars a week put aside to make sure that I have enough for a season. And I have kind of a number in my head every year of what a season about will cost depending on where you go. But yeah, I've had help from sponsors a couple years. That makes life so much easier because you don't have to sit there and nickel and dime everything. You can go, okay, I can take this flight. That's just a better time. It's $50 more. It's a no-brainer then. Whereas if you're paying on your own dime and you're going, oh, I still have my house and my dog to take care of and my family to provide for, then you think about that stuff a lot more, and it really starts to suck some of the travel fun that we have out of it, because traveling is fun in its own sense. If somebody else is paying for it, then it's great. Yeah, I love that. But it's like you need to be financially, physically, and psychologically ready to play this sport, or you'll have a bad time. It's like pizza and when you try to French fry. Just
You could chalk it up to basically just a struggle in the off season the whole time.
yeah. So you're grinding. Like I guess I don't get to hang out or be part of a bunch of different. I mean, minus this whole pandemic thing we got going on here, I'm actually spending a lot of time with friends and family in small groups. We're not going out and whatever. Yeah, distance, and then we protect ourselves and whatever. But I've been able to spend a lot of time with them because my employment at Target Field is postponed because there's no baseball games going on right now. So I'm working for Complete Construction of Minneapolis. Shout out Nick. He's been helping me out, at least giving me some part-time work, but I can still survive using that. The problem is like saving up for next season right now because I've lost half of my income just because of this disease. So everybody on tour, pert near, there's probably a few people that might not struggle as much, but I know everybody has made this a priority in their life, and it's a sacrifice everywhere else, whether it be time or money or job. You don't play this sport unless you're ready to give up things that most people have. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
Exactly. You literally put it perfectly. Luke, I mean, do you have anything to add to that? Honestly.
No, I was just kind of falling in love with how well Maddie was able to articulate that. Yeah, no, it's straight up it. Like, you sacrifice a lot of things to be able to do this because you're like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just save up for it the second half of the year. But then the schedule gets released. You're like, you got to fly to Europe 3 separate times because all the races aren't kind of staged one after another. And you're like, oh, wow, okay, I guess the old shitbox car will have to survive me another year. And just those sort of things people kind of take for pride in their life every day. You make little sacrifices because skating down that hill is kind of worth it.
For sure. Like you said, the sacrifice you make to do this stuff, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't have done anything different. Just the people I've met, the places I've got to go, I've been able to bring family with on a lot of trips. Like, that's stuff that I can't. I had my entire family sitting in Fenway Park watching me go down that track. Like, you can't, there's nothing else in the world that'll ever be that hype. Like, that was unreal. They weren't there to watch the Red Sox. My donkey self try not to kill myself.
On an ice track that took 6 weeks to build.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't see anything like it.
Yes. And for that reason, the financial struggle, the time struggle, the everything struggle when it comes to traveling especially is made worth it with your experiences with your friends and family on this stuff and the stuff you get to do and the enjoyment you have going down the hill.
I 100% agree.
Drop the mic.
I agree as well. I do have to apologize for a second though, guys. If you hear some banging and stuff, it's because someone's moving into my house right now. Welcome to life. I do have to say one thing I've learned is that sometimes taking the cheaper flight isn't always the best option because it can turn a 26-hour flight into a 40-hour flight. Not a flight, like a transport, and do multiple layovers. Like after you do your second layover for a flight, you're kind of over it. And if you think you can do 4 layovers because it's cheaper, it kills you by the time you get there.
Cheaper is not always better.
Especially it's a ratio, man. Like it's like either I'm going to spend 6 more hours of my time to save myself $30? Wait, what? Why would I do that? You got to kind of value your own time in a sense as well. I max out 2 layovers, 100%. Always give yourself at least 45 minutes at every layover. Do not take less time with that because you have no idea what the airport's like. If you have to go out of security, come back through security. I learned that. I learned be careful with how you pack your bags and how many you bring because not everyone has the same rules from airline to airline.
Or country to country.
Or country to country. One time I went out there with 2 free check bags on the way out. I did not on the way back. And so that hurt me like $200 because one of them was size and one was like a regular bag. Lesson 1, check the bag prices. Wheels. Wheels. When in doubt, have wheels. Backpack. Depending on how long you're going, try not to have more than 3 bags total. It just is too much after that. Like you get a backpack or like a shoulder strap bag of some sort, 2 wheelie bags max.
Well, let's think about that. You say 3 bags, right?
Yep.
Let's give the viewers an example here. Let's pretend we have 3 bags, and let's go through your modes of transportation that you took to Finland with 3 bags in mind the whole time.
This is gonna be fun.
Am I gonna need to grab a beer for this story?
I would 100%. It's
Yeah.
gonna take, but it'll tell a lot
Run.
of people. Like this will be really good. I hope a lot of the new people that get into the sport and actually try to travel listen very clearly to this story. We're going to be gone from home for 2 weeks. I need to pack enough stuff to at least survive and have clothing and not be a dirty person. Packing 3 bags. Bag number 1, backpack, has my electronics, GoPro, laptop, chargers, money, stuff that I'm going to keep on me. That comes with me on the plane. Second bag, clothes. That's it. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of clothes. Make sure it's not over 50 pounds. Third bag, like all the gear, skates, helmet, stuff like that. Make sure it's in wheels. Don't use a strap. You'll hate yourself forever if you use a strap bag. Also, in that usually has like the jacket, the overcoat, the heavier clothing, because that's going to be like your big bag. We go to the airport. We walk up to the counter. We usually get 1 check bag for free. Sometimes you get 2, depending on what you got. Who knows? So we check that huge ass bag that we don't want to deal with anymore. So that one's going to be on the plane, and then it's going to be where we land. The other wheelie one and the backpack comes with you.
I do have to stop you there. It's not always there when you land, though.
We got to the gate yet. I'm not even through security. Now, the second part is we get to security. Now, the reason I packed the second wheelie bag with just clothes, because in security, I don't have to worry about it at all. On the belt, through it goes. Whereas, like, I know all the stuff that I need to take out of a bag and show the security people is in my backpack. So it'll be quicker if I don't have to try to unpack 2 bags. Send those through security, okay? So now we're going over to the gate agent. Now, depending on if you're a sweet talker like myself or not, I usually dabble up to the gate agent and I go, hey, how are you doing? You look lovely today. You know, I have to ask you a quick question. I got a really tough travel day ahead of me here. As you can see, I'm going to have a couple steps. Is there any chance I could get this bag checked through? Now, what I'm doing there is I'm asking the gate agent to check my bag unofficially. It's called a gate check. They'll take it. They will put it on the plane just like a check bag, and then hopefully it will arrive at my destination the same as my really big bag. Hopefully. So sometimes they're really cool. They're like, yep, no problem. Here you go. Here's a tag. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sometimes they're having a really bad day, and in that case, if they snap at you, you go, okay, sounds good, and you go sit down. Because if that person's having a bad day, you're not going to change it, and it's probably just going to get worse if you try to interact after that. 1 attempt, put all your marbles in it, be as sweet as you possibly can. Doesn't work, whatever. Okay, move on. You're carrying it with you. Now, if that doesn't happen, you didn't get the gate check, make sure you're ready to get on that plane pretty early, because I bet you that clothing bag is pretty damn big. You better get an overhead spot. If there's no overhead spots, you might have to pay for it. That happened to me once. Tough break. Was on a layover. Couldn't get to the plane fast enough. There was no overhead room left. They made me pay $20 to check the bag. Whatever. Okay. Where are we now? Okay, so we're on the first plane. Woo! All right. Let's just say the gate agent took the check bag. Oh, sorry. Does this mean pause?
No, I was going to say that's literally the first plane. We haven't even
That's it.
scratched the surface.
Haven't even left
But
the
if you
country
want-
yet.
All right.
So we just got on the plane. Obviously,
That was one. That was not even. We're not even done with the first plane. That
You just left your
step
country
one.
of choice.
Yep. So now here we are. We're on the plane. Make sure you throw the bag over top. I usually like to keep my backpack under the seat in front of me, just because that's a easy access spot, and that's a good choice. You should definitely do that. Yep. Good for you. So now we're at the second place. Now, depending on where you're laying over and what ticket you bought, you could have to pick up your bags, which means you are leaving the airport. You are going to baggage claim. You pick up the bag. You go back to security, you check them in again, and then you go through security again, and then you can board your plane again. Now, if that happens, cry a river because it's a bad day.
Madness.
It's a bad day. And that could happen at every single layover you have. Try to avoid that. I had to do that once, and I had an hour and a half, I think, in between flights, and I probably made it with about 20 minutes to spare. It's just really sketchy, and a lot of these places you fly into are really large airports too, so you could be on opposite ends. Again, where the wheels play into factor here, if you can wheel it, you can move a lot faster for a lot longer than a strap bag. So be ready for that. Now we're on to, let's just say we're on our final destination. We went and did this just to shorten this up a little bit. We did the whole pickup, recheck, go through security again. Now we're going on to the final plane to get there. We land. All right, we're here. Yes, we made it. Oh, wait, we didn't make it. Our place of residency, in most cases, I would say is anywhere from a half hour to 5 hours away from the airport. Now,
Yeah.
see where the 5 hours would be an issue. Half hour, manageable. I'm okay with that. But we got these races that we've gone to that have been severely distanced from the airport. So we're talking about the Finland rip, right? That's what we're going for.
Yup.
We used to race in a place called Jyväskylä, Finland. It had a permanent track there. We all knew about it. It was about 3.5 hours north of Helsinki. And Helsinki was like, what, 40 minutes from the airport, 30 minutes from the airport?
Not bad at all.
So it was kind of close. But the mode of transportation there, which you could either take a bus or a train to Helsinki, part one. I found it easier to take the train just because it was connected to the airport, and you just had to walk through a mile away through the airport and down the stairs. And woo,
With wheels.
wheels again. Why the wheels work?
But that one's fantastic because the train stop is actually in central Helsinki. You get some places where the train stops on the skirts of town, and then you just kind of
Then you go, oh shit, now what?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm here at 3:00 in the morning. There's nobody else around. What do I do?
I feel like Jack the Ripper's gonna get me. I just want to go. I got too much stuff. It looks like I'm. So there we got on the train. It brought us to Helsinki's city center. At the city center, depending on when you landed and when your bus picks up and when the train drops you off there, you could be several hours off. So like say I'm landing at 9 p.m. Well, if you get on a train and you drive into Helsinki, it's like 10 p.m. now. There's no buses leaving at 10. So you better get a hotel and stay the night, or what are you going to do? Stand outside? Like things you don't really think about while you're like, oh, just get there. Okay, I'll get there. And then, oh, wait, this is going to be too late. There's not going to be any bus pickups after 4:30 or something.
Nobody speaks English.
Can't ask anybody to bring you 3.5 hours away. Can I get a trip here? Where are you going? 3.5 hours north? Is that cool with you? Like, no, that's not going to work. That usually happened where it didn't line up right. You had to stay there, either go get some food, check out their mall, or stay a night in a hotel. Meanwhile, you have to do this with all your bags. Have you ever gone in the mall with all your bags? Like I'm talking like 100 pounds of luggage. Yeah, it's super fun. Try it.
In the middle of winter with all your warm clothes on, and then you get into a mall that's nice and warm, and you have 3 bags.
Meanwhile, you've been flying for like 9 hours, so you already smell like a sweaty pile of junk.
And as soon as you get in, you just start dripping sweat, and you just drag this thing with wheels, which isn't really good for when it's like a foot of snow, across the top of the snow.
Hashtag wheels.
Off of it. Like, I just try to get my bags there. Can somebody help me?
There is definitely a point on the trip where you just wish you could just teleport. It's all fine up until that point, but as soon as you hit that point where like a few things go wrong, you're like, I just wish I was there. I hate this sport so much. What am I doing? This is stupid.
And you know what? We've seen that switch in all of our faces before in each other. We've all seen that mental like, oh, just get me there.
You can talk to me anymore.
So literally that was a plane, train, bus.
Wait for the bus, yep. And we're probably 16 hours worth of total travel time at this point.
At least
32. Come on, boys.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
depending on who you are. So you pretty much, for like a normal person, you pretty much spent an entire day not at home on tight cramped airplanes and or buses and or trains, and you smell like shit and you don't know where you are. And so life's great. It's fun to say. There, that's my plug. Travel.
Travel, life's great.
Now we're finally waiting for our bus. Got our last bus. Thank God Finland's smart enough to have buses that have Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you'd be on a bus for 3.5, 4 hours and no Wi-Fi. And what the hell are you going to do with yourself then? So you can at least crush a show or a movie or something. But mind you, this amount of time without the comfort of brushing your teeth, having a shower.
Solid meal.
Yeah, you just feel kind of musty and just gross, and you're hungry and you're tired, and you want to tell everyone that you didn't get, sent to the wrong country and you're safe and stuff like that. And it's just like, so everyone is at their lowest mental state right now.
You're a Yeti.
Like, you are full autopilot until you walk into that room. And then, so maybe you'll have to take another little cab or something once your bus gets to the bus station. You probably have to take another cab because the bus station isn't your hotel. Most of the time, they don't stop anywhere near your dang hotel. So get ready for another cost there. Sweet. And then watch, it's midnight, so there's like no cabs out. You're like, okay, sweet, I hope one comes. And they'll make you wait another 20 minutes outside in the cold because you're there so damn late. And then you finally arrive to your hotel.
Oh, my God.
That
no
is
way.
one day. Now, 10 times. Ice cross season. Have fun.
So, plane, bus, car, train, cab. That's just for one trip to Finland.
That's because that's how you get to the track. Because you're real smart. You're like, oh, I'll get at a hotel a bit out of town, a little bit cheaper. I'll just walk to the track. It's fine. You get halfway there the first day. You're like, nah, it's just Uber, boys. Just every day. It's easy. There and back. And then
Again,
that adds up
cheaper is not
every day.
always better.
I always go with whatever is closest to the track. If you think that walking, because I did this once too, if you think walking like 3/4 of a mile, or how far would that be in kilometers? Like,
Oh, it'd be
like
a kilometer. About a kilometer.
Yeah,
kilometer and a half.
one.
Every day to go do your racing stuff is okay. You're severely mistaken. That really starts to get difficult, especially when we have these races where we're like, oh, hey, it's super warm, or we got a delay or change the time of practice. Oh, all of a sudden we're having 6 a.m. practices. You walk to the track in the middle of winter at 6 a.m. with all your gear?
With no breakfast?
Not fun.
2-3 feet of snow if it's had a big snowstorm the night before. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a good time.
Wasn't happy about it.
But it happened.
But why? Because this is fun.
We're having fun,
We have
boys.
fun here.
We're having fun.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Yes, I am.
So, in 7 years of doing this,
Oh, boy.
in all the travel that you've done, would you say the trip to Finland would have been your worst experience?
I think I would have to say overall, it wasn't the worst because it was kind of funny. At the end of the day, I could laugh at it when we finally made it and we're safe.
It was so ridiculous that you could laugh at it later.
Right. Like, the ones that get scary are like when you show up to the airport and they cancel your flight. My worst travel day, I'll never forget this one my entire life. So rattled. This was, again, when we had a Euro trip of like, we're in Europe for like 3 or 4 weeks. Really long one. I was missing home life. I was homesick to the gills. I was supposed to fly back on Valentine's Day, meet up with my wife, have a great little Valentine's dinner. It was going to be awesome. Everything was going to go great. So I'm doing my travel day. We're in the middle of Finland, and like, the first thing goes wrong where like my bag is behind the plane, right? So I had to lay over in Amsterdam, and then I went from Amsterdam to LaGuardia, New York. It's an airport in New York. So in Amsterdam, they go, hey, your check bag is behind. It's going to be a day late. Whatever, I don't care. We got a week off. Have my bag be late. I don't care. So I land in LaGuardia. It's about 8 p.m. Eastern time. So they're like, it's pretty slow there. It's pretty shut down. They throw up half-hour delay. Okay, that's fine. Half hour. I'm still going to get home. They throw up an hour delay. Oh, I'm starting to get upset. I'm losing my temper. Miss dinner now.
Someone's getting hungry.
2 hour delay. All right, F this. I'm going to eat. I'm hungry. Well, when I go look around, it's 10 p.m. there now. All the restaurants are closed. Yep. So I'm stuck in an airport, didn't have dinner, trying to rush home to get there because I was trying to see my family. I mean, why not? Nope. I'm stranded in LaGuardia, New York. I don't even know if it's the city or just the airport name. But I will forever hate that airport. Time for again. They canceled the flight that night. I had to sleep in a hotel room with 5 complete strangers. Yeah,
Oh,
5.
See, that's a skill you do learn eventually, though. I've learned to sleep quite well in an airport, nestled around my gear, my gear bags. You do pick that up as a skill. It's pretty good.
No, they were gonna try to. They were
no.
like, "Oh, okay, we can sleep in the airport. That's fine." And they're like, "No, we're closing the airport. You guys got to go." They booted us.
So they
Yeah.
stuck you in a hotel with 5 strangers, not in the airport.
Like, hey, so we're buying hotels, but you have to go in groups of 5. What?
Okay, that's a bit sketchy.
Ben, no, you give me my own hotel room. Go away.
I will go into debt to get my own hotel room. Thank you very much.
I'm again, after 4 weeks of Europe, I'm straight broke. I cashed out. I got nothing left. So I pull this hey, baller move, check it out. Here's my credit card. No sponsors that year.
Please don't get declined, please.
Fun fact, euros are not cheap. It just destroys any money you have if you buy euros. It is ridiculous.
Exchange rate hurts for sure. So meanwhile, I slept on the floor in a hotel room with 5 complete strangers for an entire night, and then had to wake up at 5:30 to get back to the airport for a 7 a.m. flight. So that was the worst. And I had no boys with me. Usually you got some boys with you going through the struggle. No, I took this early flight. I skipped half the after party to leave super early so I could get back to see my lady on time. And I got sewered. And everyone else got home on time and and had fun. And I'm stuck in New York.
Well, I guess that kind of works pretty well into the next one. So, yeah, you do have an old lady, and everyone. I think everyone does know Danny on the tour because she probably parties harder than us athletes, and she's always a gem to see out there.
Wait, I think it even goes back farther. Johnson, didn't you and Danny kind of ice cross and your marriage kind of were intertwined a little bit, right? How did you ask Danny to marry you?
Yes, that's a great question there, Teej. So that would have been my first or second year of ice cross ever, and I had been dating Danny for quite some time at that point, and was looking for the moment, the glory scene, the setting, just the right feel, right? And I thought, why don't I propose in front of 100 and some odd thousand people in St. Paul at the bottom of this nutsness of a track? After I ripped down it and win. And I wasn't going to win. But we had back then a team challenge, and I was doing my time trial run with my team. I've never been that nervous in my entire life. Ice cross was nothing compared to that. I was up there shaking and about to throw up, and I was not worried about the track at all, even though that scared the shit out of me 4 hours earlier when I did my own time trial. Now at this point, I'm oh my God, I got to do this and then go propose. And so skated down, had a little mock interview. The media people were loving it and were nice enough to let us do, a little thing at the bottom of the hill, and was able to propose to her. She said yes. It was pretty magical.
Well, I can say that I love you. I love Danny from the bottom of my heart. You kind of screwed the rest of us because now we can't do that, asshole.
That's what I was God, I got to do this before somebody else thinks of it.
You also had the best out for that as well, because if you got cold feet on the way down, you could have just pretended to fall and ended up back in the ambulance tent. Oh, sorry, guys. Bad luck.
No, yeah, I know that's definitely something that I'm very proud of. I thought that was a great moment for both of us, and it was really cool to have everybody there to experience it. Have a video of it too, a quality video is nice because a lot of people don't get that at their proposals.
Well, I can say that was basically the infancy of, when you and I first met. It was amazing to be a part of that and to experience that with you. As we kind of continue to talk about travel life and stuff like that, obviously your wife, your girlfriend, or your single life does come into play a little bit on the tour, wouldn't you say?
Oh, 100%. This is the most interesting category. This is the one that everyone wants to hear, the juicy details, what goes on. You know,
We sleep a lot.
I don't I think people look at our sport and they hear about the parties and they hear about the wildness and they think like we're just literally the Jersey Shore or, you know, an MTV reality TV show where everybody's hooking up with everybody. And, you know, it's not like that. Like, again, there is that personality type. There is those people that do that stuff. And then there is people that are normals that just go out there. I handle my business. I have fun with my boys. I go home.
I tell you what, after 36 to 42 hours of travel, either to get there or once I'm there, I'm sorry, but the last thing on my mind is to literally go out and be swiping the Tinder and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Especially if you're a single guy.
That's your rookie error. You meant to do it on your travel. Then it's done. By the time you get there, you're set, good to go. You just have your quick shower, scrub up, and then make yourself smell pretty, and you're all right.
And I think I can, because I haven't been single on tour. I've been taken the entire time I've done this sport. And that to me, I have no regrets. Like I haven't, and people have asked me this a million times, like, oh my God, you only dated one girl, you married her. And like, to me, it was a decision that I'd do 1,000 times over. And it's because of the person that I know and the person that I met. Single guys on tour, I can see how the going out on the prowl would be a fun thing to do, especially in a country that you're not used to.
Shane Renault.
Right? Freaking getting out there. Man's a legend. He goes for it. And I don't like those guys can do that stuff. Like there's separation. You can go and do that. So that's a choice. As an athlete, you get to choose, hey, I'm going to go to bed at 8:00 and get ready for the race tomorrow. Or I'm going to start drinking at 8:00 and go out and then try to get ready for the race tomorrow. Like there's choices that you can make. And for a lot of guys, like it doesn't really affect their performance in sport at all, which is very surprising to me. But like,
oh, wait. I have to stop you there for a second because do you even remember Sarah Selka practice day?
Oh, that was hey, whatever. I'm pretty sure I still finished like 18th there.
Yeah, you're still faster than me on the track. I'm hardly sure you can remember it.
No, Santaland. Oh God, I could tell stories about Santaland for a good amount of time. We called it Santaland or Santa Vegas. It was so far north in Finland, like near North Pole type stuff. It felt almost lawless. It felt like we could do whatever we want. Like you were in Vegas. It was your playground. Go. We had a cottage with several humans in it that were a part of the effort, and we had a full week of we made a terrain park in our backyard. We had a snowmobiling day. We skied off the roof of our building. I probably shouldn't say that. That didn't happen. Just kidding. And like we had a lot of fun while we were up there. It was a really good time. But at the same time, there was some adult beverages consumed on practice day by yours truly. I went down the track slightly intoxicated. I was blasted. I'm gonna lie. I was blasted. And so it was one of the like practice days before you got your 2 practice runs before your time trials, which usually don't happen. So that whole day was in my mind not going to happen. Therefore, when I was already starting to be drunk and they were like, yeah, you guys can just come practice like if you want to. And everyone in the house was like, yeah, we're going to practice. And I'm like, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm not
Let's go.
And we got there or whatever. And like, I remember just turning on my GoPro and being like, I need to remember this somehow. Like, like it actually, from the sounds of everyone else and the videos that I took, I wasn't doing bad. I didn't fall once. I think I was literally laughing like a schoolgirl the entire time I was going down the track and like trying to yell at people all the time, like, go faster. It was probably you could see the true bliss that the sport brings in those GoPro videos. You could find them for you. Because, I mean, man, I wouldn't have operated a vehicle, but I'll skate down the ice cross track. It was fun. It was a good time. I don't recommend it. Any of the young guys watching, I'm sorry. Don't do that. It's terrible. Shame on you if you do.
It's getting to a level now where you can't really do that because every time on the track you need to be pushing yourself because the level is getting so high. You can't take a chance just to have a fun run down a track because you will be that half a second behind someone. That last run just went that little bit harder. So I think those days are starting to disappear.
I didn't know the track then. Like I went down it, but I didn't like get my mental pictures like I normally do. Like, oh, okay, here I want to do this, and oh, I feel fast here. I'm gonna go that. You know, like had none of
game plan.
It felt like I was starting fresh the next day. It was like, oh shit, I just a little bit more, but learned my lesson there, and then we don't do that anymore. Like, grow from your experiences.
Skate fast, don't fall.
That's the easy way. I wish I could say it was that easy. Just skate better.
Tej, you have a missus too.
I do. As of the last couple of years, that has definitely happened as well. I know Johnson mentioned earlier that, some guys like to have that opportunity to travel to different countries, meet, be a part of the culture. We'll
Nationality
say.
bingo. What?
That's a good way to put it.
A different pond. That's all it is. I want to see if they're as good in an angler as they are in Spain, as they are in Finland, as they are in the U.S. They just got to test out skills.
This is coming from the guy who turned me on to what an Aussie kiss was. I never knew what that was originally, and maybe we can touch base on that later.
I'm good. I'll pass.
But literally the absolute last part of hashtag travel life that I wanted to talk about was literally full-time jobs, right? Being a professional ice cross athlete, I know it's weird. You can call us professionals. I never thought that would actually happen in a million years. Surprise to the viewers, we really don't make enough money racing throughout the year to make a living. At least I don't. Johnson makes a little bit more than AubyNAussie. So,
Still not.
But personally for myself, I've been lucky enough to been a part of a company that allows me to travel in the winter, take some time off. I don't take PTO during spring, summer, fall. I basically save it up for the winter so I can use it for ice cross. But I know that's different from athlete to athlete. Johnson, I don't know if you want to touch base on your job as well.
I haven't been able to have a steady job for more than 2 years doing the sport. 100%. And that's it. If we want to go back on like relationships too, when we were talking about travel life and like how much time you have to devote to them while you're on the road too, it's the same thing as your job. You have to devote time to your job, and there's no job in the entire planet that's like, yeah, cool, take 3 months off. It is.
Your job won't be here when you get back though.
And I've literally walked into interviews because I'm me. I don't like to lie to people. I walk there and I go, this is how this is going to work. I'll work here. I will be one of the best employees you have. I'm going to disappear in the winter. If that bothers you, don't hire me. I would lead in with that. Like, this is what I normally do. Look, these weeks I'm usually gone. I will leave on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I will come back on Sunday. I'll be here Monday. Mind you,
100%.
If you do travel and you got to work on Monday and you come back on Sunday, pray to God you land before like 4 p.m. Otherwise, that next day is probably one of the worst grinds of your entire life.
Well, what you just said, it's a grind, right? Like literally you get home, we grind it out so not only we can make a living, but we grind it out so we can be a part of the sport. It's one of those sacrifices that we make. I will get home on Sunday. Sometimes it's Monday morning at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., knowing that I physically have to go into work at 8 a.m. into an office job, work the next day full on, and expect the best employee. You know, as far as my bosses go, they don't care if I've just been traveling for the last 40 hours, had 2 layovers, took a plane, car, bus, train, bike, walked 5 miles, crawled another 2 miles, didn't eat the entire time. But hey, you know what? I'm here on Monday morning. Let's go to work, boys. Let's go.
You see, that's the lucky thing for you boys. So if the Duluth race, I leave there on a Sunday night and I land in Australia like a Tuesday morning. And then try and explain that to your boss. It's like, what do you do on Monday? Like, a Monday doesn't exist for me. I'm literally on a
just
plane.
don't have those days.
I literally just don't have that day. Yeah, doesn't work.
I took the Monday and I said, disappear.
But it's kind of hard because you go to a job interview, like you tell them what you do. They always usually get pretty excited. But I guess companies, if they have the skills that you're looking for, they'll lie as well. Because I've had a few companies I've been in, like, oh, yeah, no, it's fine. Like, we'll sort it out then and there, blah, blah, blah. And it comes time to do it. And they're like, oh, no, you can't do it. Be like, but I literally told you in the interview, this is what I do. And if you couldn't do that, I wouldn't work here.
And I'm out.
And it just, it just really
Bye-bye.
throws a spanner in the works because you've set up your season planning to have that time off, and it really makes things difficult.
And it's like, I get it. If I was a business owner or a boss or whatever, and I had an employee that was just disappearing for these streaks of time, obviously I get that. That's not supposed to be what's happening. I'm not happy about it. But if that was the case, I wouldn't have hired that person in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. Okay, maybe that's only 2 months out of the year, 3 months out of the year. You're telling me for 9 months, if I literally don't take a day off and I'm there more than 40 hours a week doing exactly what you asked me to do and going above and beyond, you won't allow me to take a couple weekends off in the winter.
Companies don't care. Companies only see stuff you don't do, not stuff you do. So if you're there 50 hours a week and you're only charging 40, they don't see that. They just see that week you're there for 38 and they go like, why weren't you here for 40 weeks? Like, why weren't you here for 40 hours? What's wrong?
No. And it's like just most of the personality types that are in this sport too, we're good in the workforce.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Some of these guys have the best work ethic of anybody I've ever met. I've watched them clear snow on tracks for 3 hours so they can skate it for 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, as a boss, I go, hey, this dude is actually an asset. He actually gives a shit and works really hard. Sweet, I'll allow him to do it. The last guy I worked for a company called US Express. It was a logistics company. His name was Sean. Shout out to Sean. He was one of the best bosses that I had in working with me on this. He was like, hey man, what do you need? Like, what are the actual days that you need to take off? Like, I'll find a way to make it work. I know you care about it. He was very good about it. Like, I appreciated him bending over backwards. And that's why every time I came into work, I gave him 100%. I did what I could to do the best I could for him. You know?
And that's what it should be, right? If the company takes care of you, you are going to do your absolute best, put your best foot forward every day of the week to make sure that company is getting what they need so that they are able to take care of you and allow you to the time off in the winter.
Leadership program in the entire planet is going to tell you to know your employees, know what drives them, what makes them happy, see if you can facilitate those things. Then you're an effective manager or whatever they say these days. I don't know.
And none of us Icecrest guys will be managers. We know that.
I'm going to do everything. Awesome. No, I mean, it's like one of those things where I wish it was easier to say, but there is not a lot of people that have the same experiences that we do and can understand it. That's the problem. I can say, hey, I love playing baseball. Any Johnny Tsunami can go out in his backyard with a bat and a ball and try to swing at it. He'll kind of get the experience, you know? There's nothing that I can say, yeah, do you like roller coasters? Have you ever been in control of one? There's nothing you can compare it to. So when you try to explain to someone why you're not doing something or why you want to be somewhere or whatever, they're going to just be like, yeah, whatever, I don't get it. And that's
it's so tough.
But that's why we have this. You guys creating this is like a great platform to finally bridge that gap of, hey, this is what we do. This is why we do it in a form that isn't just like a promo. This is real. This is gritty. This is face to face, just the boys talking their minds, you know? So I commend you on the episode here and for more to come.
Dude, you said it perfectly. Honestly, we knew prior to asking you on that you were going to be a beauty. And you lived up to the name. You didn't just go half speed for the episode. You went full speed for this episode. So I know I appreciate it. I can speak for Ozzy. I know he appreciates it.
Yeah, definitely.
The viewers at home are going to get a laugh out of this for sure. So thank you, Half Speed, for joining us, taking the time out of your day to speak with us. Give us your side of the story. You know, I want to thank and challenge our viewers watching right now to obviously check out Matt on his Instagram. That's where he's most active. I know he's got some pretty sick videos on there as well. You can catch myself on Instagram, Auby1987, Facebook, YouTube's just TJ Albrecht.
Yeah, I'm nice and easy. Just Aussie Crasher on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
As we start moving forward, don't forget, subscribe to AubyNAussie on YouTube. If you have questions, comments, concerns, hell, business opportunities, hit us up, AubyNAussie@gmail.com. Next week, we do have a special guest. He is a hell of a character. We'll call him the Mullet right now. But we'll go into episode 5 and we'll talk some training with him. But for now, signing off, your favorite ice cross, Ginger and Aussie. And until next time,
It's all downhill from here.
From the floor to the ceiling, go nuts. Any sign of destruction's on us. My adrenaline's pumping, feel it all in my veins. Don't worry, percussions, then stay out the way. Like a lineman rushing to take them out of the game. Got the party jumping and tearing out of the frame. I'm talking